Hey guys, what's up? It's Rachel here with another video, and in today's video I wanted to take inspiration from my last video I did, which was all about the palettes that are my absolute favorites, what I'm all the time reaching for. So that made me think, well, what about the disappointing products, like the disappointing palettes that are just laying there that I never touch. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. The first palette I want to talk about is from Huda Beauty, and this is her Rose Gold palette. This is her first edition, not the remastered, but this is what it looks like. A lot of people complain that the packaging should have been a lot better for the price. This palette was like $65, I'm pretty sure. But the packaging is not really what does it for me. It's the actual quality of the eyeshadows. One thing I will say that's good about this palette is the mattes. The mattes are a stiffer formula, but I really like them. They do blend. But why this has made it into a disappointing palette video is because this whole top row is chunky and glittery, and the fallout is awful. And this is what really stands out in the palette. When you look at this palette, you're drawn to those glittery shades, and that's the biggest disappointment. And like I said, I do like the mattes, but I'm not going to grab this palette just for the mattes, because I have palettes that I can start using. But not only do the mattes work, but the shimmers work awesome. So this is just a palette that I don't really use anymore. As you can tell, I did get my fair use out of it, but it's not something that I'm grabbing for anymore because I have formulas that are so much better than this. The next palette I want to talk about is from Too Faced, and something about this palette is actually recently this palette has been seen at Marshall's and TJ Maxx for a discounted price. And this is the Too Faced Love Passionately Pretty Eyeshadow Collection. I just call it the Love Palette, but this is what it looks like. When you open it up, it's very pleasing to the eye. There's a lot of shimmery shades and pretty mattes, but these shadows are just not pigmented at all. So that is why I don't grab for this one. Other than that, it had like a Too Faced eyeliner, which I still have, and I love that formula of eyeliner. It's the one that has a smudger on the end, but as for the eyeshadows, these are huge. It's just a huge letdown. The next palettes I'm going to talk about are from Tarte, and this is the Tartelette palette, and it looks like this. A lot of people I saw actually really didn't like this palette, and I can understand why. This palette is a full matte palette, and it's all pretty much cool tones, and it looks like this. The problem with this palette is they are all stiff and chalky. It's very disappointing. I can't blend them out. That's why I never reach for it. I feel like Tarte has a lot of palettes that are much better than this, so this would be my last option. Going right along with that series is the Tartelette in Blooms palette, and it looks like this. I will say that this one is a step better than the last palette. This palette has shimmers and mattes, and it's more warm tone. But again, that formula, especially with their mattes. The mattes in this little collection here, they just don't blend, in my opinion. And the shimmers just don't pack that punch, what I'm really looking for. So this is the Tartelette in Blooms palette. The last thing from Tarte that I'm going to talk about is actually a holiday collection. And I'm not really sure that if it was from a year ago or like 2 years ago, but this was a holiday collection, and it looks like this. It's very bulky. First of all, the packaging is horrible in my opinion, and you have to unzip it like this. It's like a book type thing, and then you open it up, and here's your shadows. The quality is just alright. I mean, in my opinion, this quality is better than the Tartelette palettes, but it's still nothing that I would grab for. And then it comes with like a mascara and things, and I had pulled those out, and I probably already used those up. But then it had this separate little palette to itself, and again, the quality is just alright. It has shadows, it has a bronzer, a blush, and a highlighter, and it looks like this, and it's nothing special. I never touched it, which is a shame because this was like $60. So this is from Tarte. The last palettes I want to talk about are from Urban Decay, and this one, well, both of them, you can't get these anymore, but they're not that good anyway. So this is the Alice Through the Looking Glass palette, and it looks like this. The first thing that I will say about this palette is, clearly, they have spent more time on the packaging than the actual quality of the product, and you know that they do that. This is what it looks like on the inside. If you pull these flaps, and it has a butterfly, and then it's like a drawer at the bottom, and you pull it down, and here is all of your eyeshadows. The pigmentation on this palette is horrible, and I'm doing like a Rich Luxe swatch here. Look at this. I'm not flipping you off. It's like nothing. And that shade it's called Dream On, and that was the one that I was most excited for, and it was just a letdown. Like I said, not all of the shades are that bad, but they're not that great for something that I'd want to pick up, and for the price, I was expecting a lot more than this. I was pretty much paying for the packaging. So The last palette from Urban Decay I want to talk about is the collaboration with Gwen Stefani. It looks like this. When I saw this palette, I knew I wanted it. The packaging was calling to me. It's in collaboration with Gwen Stefani. And then the colors looked really nice, and they're just not pigmented at all. There is no pigment in this palette at all. You have a bunch of neutrals, and then at the bottom you have like a few pops of color. But then what was so funny was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colors out of this palette look exactly the same, and they all look pale white with a little glitter in them with no pigmentation. This palette was just a letdown. Other than that, that's all the palettes that for this video at least. If I may do a part 2 if I find some more palettes that were disappointing. Again, there is no hate to any of these brands. I love all these brands. I use products from all of these brands on the daily, but I did want to mention the disappointing ones because I was going along with my last video. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.